A very warm welcome to part 3 of the special mapping series for the preliminary exam 2025. Coming to the Indian Ocean, two very important areas of the sea floor of the Indian Ocean were in the news. Why? Because India had sought permission to conduct deep sea mining in these two regions from the International Seabed Authority, and the International Seabed Authority has given its decision with respect to that. Those two areas are the Carlsberg Ridge and the Afanasky-Nikitin Sea Mount. This is a mid-oceanic ridge which is part of the boundary of the Somalian plate and the Indian plate, and this is an isolated sea mountain, right? Both of these regions were in the news. With respect to the International Seabed Authority's decision on both areas, let's understand India's demand and what was accepted by the International Seabed Authority, right? The International Seabed Authority Council, it approved India's application to explore the Carlsberg Ridge last year in July. And why did India sought permission to mine this area? Because this area is rich in zinc, copper, cobalt and rare earth elements. And all of these are contained in polymetallic sulfides. The total area that has been approved for mining for India is 10,000 square kilometers, which are nothing but 100 blocks of 10 by 10 kilometers each. However, with respect to the seamount, the decision has not been, the approval has not been given to India. Why? Because the same region of the Afanasky-Nikitin Seamount is contested by Sri Lanka as well. Sri Lanka says that it lies within our extended continental shelf, and therefore the International Seabed Authority has not allowed us to mine in that area. They have asked us to submit a report on this because Sri Lanka has also contested that area as lying in their extended continental shelf itself, right? Therefore, these two areas were in the news. Next entry takes us to Japan. Right? A very important research was published recently which has identified the most important volcanic eruption in the last 10,000 years. The Japanese university, Kobe University, it has found that the explosion which took place 7,300 years ago took place in the Kikai caldera, which lies just south of the Kyushu Islands of Japan. By far, it was the largest volcanic eruption in the recent geological period of the geological time scale, right? So after the ending of the ice age till today, this was the biggest volcanic event on earth, right? And it took place in Japan. Kikai caldera, right? Our next entry is Nimu Padam Darcha Road, right? Very important road. Almost 300 kilometers road. It will connect Manali to Leh, right? Manali to Leh via Darcha, Padam and Nimu, right? There were two other routes earlier present. Now this is the third route which is becoming operational, right? And why is this important? Because this is going to pass through only one pass. It is going to pass through only Shingula, right? Let me just give you the details. Almost 300 kilometer long road will connect Manali to Leh through Darcha and Nimu on Kargil Leh Highway. Kargil Leh Highway, right? It is the third axis apart from Manali Leh, Srinagar Leh, which connects Ladakh to its neighboring area hinterland. And this is a strategic road. Why? It is not only going to shorten the distance with respect to the other two axes, but it is only going to pass through one pass, that is the Shinkunla, right? In this map, all the small letters shown in red are nothing but all of those mounting passes, right? Small a, Rohtang Pass, small b, Baralachala, small c, Nakila, small d, Langchungla, small e, Tanglangla, small f, Fotula, small g, Namikala, small h, Zojila, small I, Pensila, and small j, Shingula. This is the one on which the new road has become operational, and you can just see how many passes. Why is it not good for a road to pass through passes? Because they're clearly accessible, right? The more the passes on which your road lies is the more vulnerable you are, because shelling can take place on these areas and your routes will be chopped off. Therefore, the lesser the passes through which the highway passes, the better it is for strategic purposes, right? And because of this, you can say project, the Suru Valley, which lies in this path, becomes important because a large number of trees will have to be felled in the Suru Valley to complete this project, which is why protests have been taking place in this area as well. Our next entry takes us to the dedicated freight corridors of India. Recently, few projects have been completed. When you talk about the Eastern Dedicated Freight Corridor, it starts from Ludhiana of Punjab to Sonnagar of Bihar. It is 100% operational since December 2023, and the main cargo via this freight corridor is of coal, fertilizers and minerals. Whereas the Western Dedicated Freight Corridor, which lies between the Jawaharlal Nehru Port Trust, Nhava Sheva Port of Maharashtra to Dadri of Uttar Pradesh, more than 93% of it is operational, and the main cargo on this freight corridor is of export import goods and containers, right? Because it is right from our, you can say, largest cargo port, right? Our next entry takes us to Nigeria's Osun River. Why was this river in the news? Because more than 22,000 pieces of microplastics were found in just 1 liter of water, and the main source of plastic in this river was because of those plastic carry bags. So this just shows that how crucial it is to manage our plastic waste so carefully, right? Again, it was in the news, therefore it becomes important for the exam as well. This region itself becomes important. Osun of Nigeria, for example, Tigray of Ethiopia was important. It was asked in last year's exam. Therefore, Osun of Nigeria becomes important for this year. Our next entry takes us to Gujarat, Padta Bait. Right, a new Hadappan site has been discovered in Gujarat. We are all aware about the 3 islands of Gujarat, right? Pacham, Khadir and Bela. We are all aware that Dholavira lies on the Khadir Island. Khadir Island is also called Khadir Bait. In the extension of this axis, a new Padta Bait has been explored by Kerala's university, and the same group of archaeologists from Kerala University, they were earlier successful in discovering an early Harappan necropolis. Necropolis means burial site in Juna Khatia of Gujarat in 2019. Now they have found another site which dates more than 5,200 years old in Padta Bait, which is near Khatia village in Dayapara district of Kutch of Gujarat. Why is this important? Because a plenty of pottery, artifacts, animal bones have been found, and what is unique, a new kind of ceramic has been found in this area as well, and those new potteries involve large storage jars, small bowls, dishes, etc. Again, it was a burial site, and I have added all the details mentioned in that discovery. Just go through this once. right? Our next entry takes us to Himachal Pradesh in Chamba, Pangi Valley. The first ever state level Himachal Day celebration took place in Killer of the Pangi Valley, right? Why is this area important? Because this area historically has been so remote that people were sent here to banish. For example, prisoners were sent here to die. Any official who was posted over here, they were given their funeral allowances as well, right? This is important because the road connecting Killer in the Pangi Valley to Gulbarg in the Padar Valley of Kishtwar district of Kashmir is named as the most dangerous road on earth as well. Therefore, this area has been in the news for many reasons. Our next entry takes us to Gujarat, Adani's Energy Park. Once completed, it is going to become the world's largest power plant, irrespective of the type of power plant, right? Although this energy power plant is a green power plant, it is located on the barren island Khadwa, right, which is in Kutch of Gujarat. Primarily, it is going to derive energy from solar and wind, and once completed, it is going to become the world's largest power plant of any type, 5 times the size of Paris, almost as big as Mumbai. Despite certain delays taking place, we are all aware about the reasons of delay due to that issue with USA. It is still expected to be completed by 2030. Very important year geopolitically, 2030. Anyway, our next entry takes us to Rajasthan. We have seen that how the wars have altered the jet streams and how the altering of the jet streams has pushed the disturbances of summers southwards, which is why a disturbance over Rajasthan was pushed southwards, and we observed that tropical cyclone Amphan. Similarly, the disturbance over the Mediterranean was pushed over the Sahara, and we observed rainfall in Sahara as well, which is why the greenest part of Rajasthan also becomes important, and the name is Banswara. It is located in the southern part of Rajasthan, and it is known as the Chirapunji of Rajasthan as well. Why? Because in the recent years, it has been receiving abundant rainfall. Yes, this is Rajasthan. Therefore, this place becomes important. Why? Because the phenomena of rainfall, the location itself, everything was in the news. Our next entry brings us back to Himachal Pradesh once again. India's first multi-purpose green hydrogen project has been inaugurated in Himachal Pradesh, the Naptha Jakhdi Hydro Power Station, right? It is in Himachal Pradesh and it is spearheaded by Satluj Jal Vidyut Nigam, right? There are many countries in the world which are running almost on 100% renewable energy. This data was in the news, therefore all of these countries become important. Albania is running primarily almost on hydropower. Bhutan, 100% hydroelectric power plant. It is exporting its energy to India as well. Democratic Republic of Congo, again hydroelectric power, 100% dependency on renewable power. Ethiopia, you can see that developing nations, right, least developed. Ethiopia, again almost 100% dependent upon hydropower and wind, and it is further investing in geothermal. Very rightly said, we just saw that volcano in Ethiopia as well, a far area. Then we have Iceland, it is natural for it to extract geothermal energy. It has been observing that volcanic eruption since 2021, and hydropower. Next is Nepal. 100% energy of Nepal comes from hydroelectricity. And Paraguay, again the hydroelectric electricity from Itaipu Dam, right? So this is all for the part 3 of the mapping series. Stay tuned for the next parts. Thank you.